In 1958, a 27-year-old aerospace graduate stood in DRDO, feeling as though the entire world had collapsed. He had only one dream: to sit in the cockpit of a fighter jet and fly for his country. Out of 25 candidates, the Indian Air Force selected only 8. He ranked 9th. Crushed inside, he travelled back to Rishikesh and stared at the gangways and wondered if all his preparation and efforts were meaningless. This man was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Because he missed the 8th seat, he accepted an entry-level position as scientific assistant in DRDO. 10 years later, that foundation earned him a transfer to ISRO, where he became the project director for India's first ever satellite launch vehicle, SMV-3. He later returned to DRDO to lead an indigenous missile development program, and eventually he walked into the Rashtrapati bubble as the 11th President of India, becoming one of the greatest and the most transformative leaders of our nation's history. Finally, in 2006, as the Supreme Commander of the Air Force, he finally stepped into the cockpit of Sukhoi 30 fighter jet, not as an entry-level pilot, but as the leader of the entire nation. Now, what happened to Dr. Kalam was neither an isolated incident nor a rare stroke of luck. If you open the history textbooks, you will see thousands of chapters with similar incidents and this exact same pattern repeating again and again, which is a closed door, quietly laying groundwork, and a far greater trajectory. It feels like fate and destiny, but cognitive science and complexity research proves this exact systematic pattern through 3 different principles. The illusion of desire. In his landmark research at Harvard, psychologist Daniel Gilbert proved the reality of affective forecast error. Our brain's systematic flaw is predicting what will actually fulfill us. We fixate heavily on isolated symbols like a job title, an acceptance letter, or a life partner, because our imagination can only simulate highlights. Kalam fixated on cockpitry, but his true psychological drive was system engineering, team building, and massive national contribution. When your initial plans fade, you aren't losing purpose. You are being liberated from your brain's narrow forecast of it. The architecture of unlocked doors. Theoretical biologist Stuart Kauffman formalized the concept of the adjacent possible, a principle later mathematically proven in digital networks. This states progress is non-linear. You cannot enter room 4 directly from room 1. You have to enter room 2 first before room 3 even physically exists as an option. Kalam could have never drawn direct line from Dehradun to presidency in 1958, but entering DRDO unlocked ISRO. Rocket technology unlocked national defense leadership. This defense leadership unlocked the nation. Bounded Rationality. Nobel Prize winner Herbert Simon proved that human decision-making operates under strict cognitive limits. Trying to map out an unyielding 10-year master plan creates massive blinders. When life disturbs your script, it forces you out of rigid optimization and into adaptability, allowing you to spot and access high leverage which rigid planners usually walk past. Here's the ultimate takeaway. When life does not go according to your timeline, do not stubbornly cling into a rigid plan crafted by a younger and less informed version of yourself. Do not freeze. Keep working relentlessly. Keep putting your 100% efforts. Continue your hard work and compound your improvement daily if possible. Anchor yourself towards your intent rather than your rigid mechanism. In Dr. Kalam's life, the specific method never mattered as much as the underlying mission, which is to serve his nation to his fullest potential. His intent was always to contribute to a critical national requirement, whether that meant pulling G-forces as a fighter pilot or solving complex engineering equations in the ground. Because he stayed relentless with his intent rather than following the rigid mechanism, he didn't just reach the sky, he shaped the entire nation below it. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and stay blessed.